So here's Roman. This is in July and about 10 days from pickup. So just working on some of our body stuff. He has been a very, very good boy. He's got a really great temperament. So I'm just working on here, getting a little pressure off of the halter and getting him to kind of draw to me. And he has always kind of preferred me to touch his left cheek. Horses can be really interesting in the beginning to see where their preference is in their touch. So some prefer the nose, some prefer the forehead, sometimes it's the shoulder, sometimes it's the cheek. So you can see there, that's my student's horse, Fable, who can be kind of obnoxious and get in the way. Because I think we had one pen that is a little on the muddy side, so we had both of them in the round pen. So can sometimes be a little hard to work, but I'm just gonna do some slow work with him, not creating huge amount of pressure. I don't want him running around or anything like that, especially with another horse in the pen, but Fable seems to be leaving us alone now. So I'm gonna go back to touching, and again, he seems pretty comfortable, and I like to spend the time of moving the mane around, seeing if I can wiggle the halter a little bit. Now I'm going to introduce him to the brush and kind of brush out his mane. I always feel like when I can get to this point, it's kind of like the bonding point, and once I trim their mane, they really do let down a lot. So I sped this up because I spend quite a lot of time kind of brushing them and not brushing them and taking the pressure off a little bit. And you can see he's handling it quite well. And then I give him a little break, step out of the bubble, let him have a moment. And he has such a cute expression. And then he's actually pretty okay with the sound of the clippers, but you see there my hand coming up, my other hand coming up. So there's like two hands at one time. Made him a little worried. So I'll just go back to one hand and trimming the mane. And he's handling that pretty well. So then once I do that, then I brush through the mane, make sure that I've got it looking fairly good. I prefer to have trim manes. Everyone is a little bit different, but for my horses, it's what I do. So to each is their own, but I like to have my horses' manes trimmed up, and I don't have to worry about it getting too long, matted, and they can get pretty hot here in Florida under their mane, so it does help them. So I'm just gonna go back and tidy up a couple of little things here, and that should be finishing up. So now I'm gonna ask him to walk around a little. Again, working on breaking things up. Anytime I can add a couple of walk steps in there, it helps them kind of reinforce the idea of following the pressure of the halter. And I haven't done very many sessions with this horse. He just has a very willing, friendly, and great temperament. And he really has been a good boy. So I'm working here with getting the rope to kind of touch his neck and then going back with my hand. So you can see he gets a little nervous about if I'm to go with two hands versus the one he's pretty okay with. I'm just going to kind of build on that. Again, I ask him for a couple of walk steps. Go back to touching his face where he's comfortable. And then I'm going to go and keep moving through the belly. Kind of all of these things are checks that I'm going for. I check to see where they're tense, where they're relaxed. He wasn't too bothered by that at all. And then again, just giving him those moments. Now I'm going to go and work on the right side. So you'll see it's very, very common for them to want to kind of block you and keep you in the left eye. I will just keep my hand and block it, and then go through and work again on touching, rubbing under the belly, moving to his booty. And he has a concerned look on his face, but he was handling that well. So again, I want to step back and give him the time to process that. And it's always good when they kind of want to come and stand with you. I got a little bit of a lick and chew. You'll see sometimes my students will be off in the distance and I'll be chatting with them, which is at times a nice distraction because it helps me give them space. So now I'm working on with the rope going towards his body and 2 hands. He handled that pretty well. And he gets a little nervous right there. And then I'm just going to have the rope kind of rub on him as he understands what that means. And that was pretty good. Get a couple of walk steps. And a nice lick and chew. And again, I'm just going to step back and see if he needs to process a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go and work on the right side. And he handles that pretty well. And he was really good. So I'm going to let him finish up on that. And it was a great session with Roman.